Chords and Coffee. Got my wife on the camera. Take you a quick drink. All right, here we go. What's going on now? Everybody, this is Jessica.
Hello.
Jessica, this is everybody. Little wave emoji in the live chat. Maybe a little, hey, Nate, you done married up? Well, it's obvious.
Gosh.
We were talking about finding a song to demonstrate serving the song and generally what are principles of accompaniment, and what better way to do that than for me to go find a singer. I so happen to live with one and pick a song and demonstrate. So that's what we're going to do. So the song we're going to pick, here's all we've done. We have just picked the key of D, and picked the song, obviously. And we're going to do this live, live or die, on Chords and Coffee. That ought to be a t-shirt. Live, live or die. Comment below if you like that t-shirt idea. This whole comment below thing is out of control, but I'm going to keep rolling with it. Love me anyway. All right. So, comment below. Anyway, I am going to play Amazing Grace. Why Amazing Grace? Amazing Grace is, first of all, it's a song everybody should know. It's a song, if you don't know it, you ought to know it. What a deep, rich history. And interestingly enough, the melody is entirely pentatonic. And because it's entirely pentatonic, there is a tremendous amount of opportunity for chord substitution and some little harmonic shenanigans that when you have a pentatonic melody, you got a little more grace to do that kind of thing, because just the way that shakes out. And if you've been paying attention, if you've seen any of these Chords and Coffees, particularly the ones that are involving discussion of the pentatonic scale, that scale invites tension to become release. Am I preaching this morning? I don't know. Anyway, but hey. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this, and again, live or die, live on Chords and Coffee. And Jess is going to sing it. I have ideas as a guitar player that I want to do chord-wise, but it won't mean a hill of beans if I'm not following her. So after we get done, and if you want to stick around, you're welcome to, but if you don't, no worries. But after we get done, I'm going to explain to you why I chose those chords, if I can remember what I did. All right, so here we go. Amazing Grace, key of D. I'm going to set it up, jump in. We'll do 2 verses, then we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Through dangers, toils, and snares, I have already found. This grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
Good job. Are you happy with that?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. All right. So let's talk about it. Did Kingston the dog approve? Let's see. King, what do you think? All right. Hey, so here's what we did. Do you want to stay or do you want to go?
I'm going to go.
Everybody say bye to Jess. Comment below. Didn't you do a good job? Take you a quick drink. All right. So the normal, let's just call it straight up the middle, you know, bread and butter, Amazing Grace chords, key of D. You got amazing, and it's D, and then D7 Grace. I'm playing good old D here. Do we need to go over that? Sure, happy to. Index finger on the 2nd fret of the G, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high E, and then you're going to do D7, but I like doing D7 over F sharp, and here's what that looks like. Middle finger on the 2nd fret of the low E, ring finger on the G string. I am not playing the A. In fact, this finger is sort of dampening the A. The D is ringing no problem. Again, ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and then index finger on the 1st fret of the B. Right? So D7, it's really D9 if you get that high E in there. And then to G major, just good old G. Sometimes I do my G where I don't even use this finger. And what amounts to that is that my middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the low E. And this angle is dampening the A. I did not one day go, you know what? I'm done with the A string. It's just one of those things that just kind of evolves, I think. And part of that is the more activities you kind of get used to doing here, which we've talked about on previous Chords and Coffee. I think this finger is just sort of on ready, you know what I mean? It's on high alert. You know, it's walking around with the dadburn pocket knife, right? It'd have been a lot cooler if the knife would have came out. But anyway, let's keep cruising. All right, talking about Amazing Grace, pulling out knives. Southwest Missouri. All right. So then after that, we go back to D, and I did like this little sort of vaguely reminiscent of Over the Hills and Far Away kind of thing. And all that was a pull off on the G string with the pinky, and then open G, and then 4th fret pull off with the pinky, and then open on the G string, and then 4th fret on the D, and then 2nd fret on the D, and then D chord. So, and that might be worth the price of admission right there. That's a cool little lick. Right? And then B minor. And at one point in the tune, now I'm just going off memory, so forgive me, but at one point in the tune, we did like an A over C sharp down to the B minor. And that's just the old one finger A with the pinky on the C sharp of the 4th fret down to good old B minor straight out of the Mel Bay book, right? And then E minor, and I'm pretty sure I either did that E minor or this guy, which we've also talked about. This is an E minor 9 form where we have index finger laying across the A string to the high E, 2nd fret, and then your middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the B, and then your pinky is on the 5th fret of the D, the low E. Now that right there, listen to that. That's a $50 chord right there. And then A7, good old 2-finger A7, back to D. Now if you remember in the lesson where we did In the Garden, I believe that was, that might have been Chords and Coffee number 7. Number 6, number 7, somewhere in that ballpark. This little walk up, go back and find that. Okay. Now, when we got to the 2nd verse, and the singer started kind of feeling, there was some stability there. She was trusting the harmonic construct, but more importantly, she was starting to push it herself, okay? And if you go back and listen, like, there's a little more oomph there. There's a little more wind, that's coming out. And she's also starting to embellish vocally herself. So as an accompanist, when I hear the singer start to get more free, that is an invitation for me to support the singer's freedom with some more freedom, right? I hear you right now. Somebody's saying, whoa, 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 whoa. No, you don't. maybe you ought to just keep what you're doing and allow them to really shine, and just support them. And I hear you. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. I hear you. However, there's a great interview, and oh gosh, I'm going to forget the guy's name. Sweetheart of a guy. I really don't know much about him, but he's interviewing Colonel Bruce Hampton. And Colonel Bruce Hampton is a very interesting character. That's a whole rabbit hole down there, but Colonel Bruce Hampton was kind of the godfather of the jam band scene. And somebody comment, is it Jim or John Mosier? Does that sound right? Anyway, he's a mandolin player, and it's out there. And I apologize, I can't remember the name, but it's, it's been a long week. Anyway, he's interviewing him, and he asked this really profound question, and he says, why is it in an art form that invites risk, we as musicians don't take more risks? I really believe that sometimes, now look, you don't want to just lose your audience. You don't want to leave them in the dust. You don't want to be so self-serving and selfish that it's all solely about you and demonstrating your technological prowess on this instrument, right? That's not creating community. That's not, bridging the gap, right? I'm not talking about that, but I am talking about being in the moment with someone and going with them and encouraging them to keep going and facilitating that freedom by you yourself offering up freedom as an accompanist. So when we got to that second verse, I started doing a little more, I did the old F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and I may have hinted that at the first verse briefly, but F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which is index finger on the 9th fret of the A, middle finger on the 9th fret of the D. Now the ring finger is middle finger is on the 9th fret of the G. Ring finger is on the 10th fret of the D, and pinky is on the B string 10th fret. So that's like really a harmonically rich D7, and then to a G, and I played a G major 7. And then when we got to the dun dun, then the B minor, and then I put that B minor over G sharp. How do you do that? Well, you go, index finger goes where the middle finger was, middle finger goes on the 4th fret of the low E, and that's also a substitution for E7, so we went ahead and did that, and then we did a big A, and I walked that up. There's a great lesson on thirds. I want to say Chords and Coffee number 6, but there's a bunch of other lessons where we talk about thirds. Thirds are probably the most powerful interval that exists in music, because it just absolutely tells you whether it's a major or it's a minor. Thirds, in fact, if you ever watch Guitar Gate, great guitar teacher, Michael, I'm going to mispronounce his name, but I love you, Michael. He's always talking about follow the thirds, follow the thirds. So I did this big thirds walk up, which is middle finger on the 6th fret of the G, ring finger on the 7th fret of the D, and then shift to index finger on the 7th fret of the G, ring finger on the 9th fret of the D, and then take that whole thing up a whole step. Index finger, 9th fret of the G, ring finger, 11th fret of the D, and then I may have done some little activities here on the B string on the 10th and 12th fret. Then, instead of going back to D, I went to this A minor 9. Risky. Melodically, the singer Jess was already up there. And so in my mind, I'm like, I'm going for it. And I'm going to just push. Not in a mean way. Mean would have been, right? Or something, right? But in a way that's like, yes, let's keep soaring. Let's go into that next layer. See what's up there. So I went to A minor 9, index finger on the 7th fret of the high E, open B. So I got 2 Bs, right? Middle finger on the 9th fret of the G, ring finger on the 10th fret of the D, and then an open A. And then to this was a C over D. What does that look like? Well, let's start on the low E. We've got a ring finger on the 10th fret of the low E, skipping the A, pinky on the 10th fret of the D, and then middle finger on the 9th fret of the G, and then index finger on the B string of the 8th fret. Numbers, fingers, and then we went to G, and then to this little moment of satisfaction. So that was a C9, but I put that F sharp in there, sort of like kind of a Layla thing, right? Also, there was a band in the 90s called Confederate Railroad that had a song called Fighting for You that is almost verbatim the Layla thing in the key of D, but Layla, at end of Layla was in C. Anyway, and they had that little side nugget. Anyway, what is that chord again? So middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A, skipping the D, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the G, pinky on the 3rd fret of the B, and then index finger on the 2nd fret of the high E, and then take it off. And then I went to, I think, B minor 11. Now, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, I may have done this. Yeah, I think that's what I did. I told you I'd forget, but, love me anyway. Here we are. This one would be ring finger or middle finger on the 8th fret of the E, ring finger on the middle finger on the 8th fret of the E, skipping the A, ring finger on the 8th fret of the D, pinky on the 9th fret of the G, and then index finger on the 6th fret of the B. And then B minor 11. We've talked about that before. Go to the Chords and Coffee number 10. There's a gospel chords lesson. This little change right here. And then this is in the turnaround lesson. And then I think we just walk it down. If you want me to go back and listen to that and specifically give you all the chords, I would be delighted to. But the idea is there is an example of accompaniment, following along with the singer. I had some great suggestions. Rick Billington actually mentioned Can't Find My Way Home, which is a beautiful song. I'd love to do that one, but if you have any more suggestions, I'm thinking if you guys like this, and please put in the comments, yes, we do, or no, we don't, move on to something else. That's fine. I'm here for you. We're building community. But if you'd like me to do more of this, give me a song. I'll get a singer, and then I'll do it. This was a hot and fresh take out of the oven. I wanted to do it this way because I wanted you to see me thinking, or if that's not the right way to say it. I wanted you to see me in the moment living it out, right? I'd also be happy to arrange one together too. So yeah, comment below if you want to keep doing this. I love doing this sort of stuff. I am so grateful that you decide every Saturday morning, or for those like in the Philippines or wherever you're watching from, to stay up late at night and to watch, comment, and encourage. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you're doing. God bless you. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.